Medicine Center. We'll treat those allergies that you have, sneezing, blowing your nose, and just making you miserable. No appointment? No problem. Come to our walk-in clinic inside our Family Medicine Center at Warner Hospital in Clinton and get better fast.
I'm Len Casper, the voice of the White Sox Radio Network. Follow the Sox across central Illinois on the Big 1520 WHOW.
Sponsored by Kirby Medical Center, Burgess and Klein Insurance, JW Painting, Dupes and Heating and AC, and First Mid, all in Monticello, and ServPro of Hyatt DeWitt counties, the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction.
This is Noah Atkinson, owner of Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs in Lincoln. Small business is the lifeblood of our communities. That's why I'm proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the WHOW WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month.
Jarhead Construction Incorporated is a veteran-owned and operated roofing company based in Clinton, offering excellent workmanship and genuine care for their clients. They believe in giving back by supporting Do a Deer Hunt for Heroes, using all proceeds to help veterans wounded during service. Jarhead Construction Incorporated is a GAF certified weather stopper roofing contractor. They'll receive a $200 gift certificate good at Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs for being our WHOW WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month. Nominate a business you'd like featured by emailing us at whow@randyradio.com.
Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs congratulates this local business for their contribution to our community. And for envelopes, wedding invitations, signs, banners, vinyl wraps, and more, find us at lincolnprintersinc.com.
Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road?
Get over!
First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These three simple steps can be the difference between life and death.
What if it's you that's on the side of the road? Do you want everybody to move over for you?
Do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the morning show, Mr. Adam Clapp, is the superintendent of Monticello Schools. Good morning, Mr. Clapp. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Good morning, Seth.
Yeah, thanks for coming on with us. Good to have you on the program. As always, end of the school year is near, Mr. Clapp. When is last day for Monticello kids?
Yeah, so we'll go to May 30th, Tuesday, May 30th. We come back, after the holiday weekend. We'll have our last day with kids, and then we'll do our end of the year district recognition for our years of service and retirees for our staff after school dismissed.
Gotcha. Now, did you have snow days or anything you had to push the calendar back at all for?
Yeah, we had one snow day, and that put us over the holiday weekend.
Gotcha. So May the 30th, last day for kids. Now, seniors, when or was their last day?
Yeah, so seniors wrapped up last Friday. So their last day of finals was Thursday. And on Friday, we have an academic assembly where we recognize just outstanding students throughout the morning there. And then after the academic assembly, the seniors have graduation practice. And after graduation practice, we have a field day for the high school. So our 9th through 12th graders get to hang out, play games. There's a basketball tournament. There's a volleyball tournament, chalk drawings. We have treats throughout the afternoon. It's a really cool tradition that we've done at Monticello for years. It's kind of a great way to send off our senior class and have them, hang out together one last time before graduation.
Very good. So graduation was Sunday, of course. So those kids they're off to the next phases in life. How about this senior group, Mr. Clapp? You know, for them, their freshman year was interrupted, and this is probably a group that we're going to be watching closely. You know, going forward, not just in Monticello, but just this kind of class of 2023 in general. I feel like this is going to be a group we're really watching how the 4 years of COVID in high school really impacted them. Your thoughts on just seniors and this group in general?
Yeah, so you mentioned that we'll be watching this group. I think for us here at Monticello High School and Monticello School District, we managed COVID very, very well in the schools. So when this year we came in and there were no extra rules and regulations, and we just got back to the basics. It was nice not to have that gray cloud like looming over us, but we thought we did a really good job during those COVID years too. So I'm expecting this group just to go out and set the bar high and be really competitive in the workforce or trade school or collegiately. We graduated 110 seniors on Sunday. Each one of them unique in their own way and going to be going off and doing great things. And we got kids going all over the country and like qualifying for like high level scholarships. So this group, 110 seniors, they earned almost $600,000 in scholarship money for their college career starting up here next fall. So that's exciting. This is a high achieving group, just a bunch of great kids. And we had two great speakers yesterday, Jack Brown and Katie Mesplay. Both of them had great messages for the class and had some good laughs. Katie threw in a bald joke, at Mr. Corson and I, which was great. This class not only persevered through COVID, they survived 2 bald principals. So I think that says a lot about this class of 2023.
That's fantastic. Mr. Clapp, you had some of these kids. Of course, you were the principal of the high school for a few years there, and I'm sure this is a group that you probably know pretty well. How about just your relationships with some of these kids?
Yeah, so that is the interesting thing. Moving over to this office, I don't get to interact with them as much as I used to, but I still go over there during lunch period and talk about last night's performance or last night's game or whatever it may be. And yeah, that's that personal relationship that we pride ourselves here at Monticello, just connecting with kids, and we do that top to bottom. And watching this group grow up from, when I got here 6 years ago, they were in 7th grade, and to see these kids mature and grow into, fine young men and women, they're going to go out and make a difference in the world. It's really cool. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing that in a K-12 perspective moving forward. Now that I'm involved, with pre-K through 12th grade, getting to see these kids grow each year and transition from, one grade level to the next, one building to the next. It's really neat. And that's what this end of the year is all about, is getting to see these kids grow from day one to now and getting to see them hit those milestones. And, I got 5th grade daughters and a 1st grade daughter, and seeing how much they've grown over the course of the year is really neat. So,
Mr. Clapp, how about just your first year in the superintendent's chair? You mentioned that a little bit there. How about first year for you? What was that transition like? How did you think the first year went? Had to be pretty nice to have a normal school year at the same time. How about some of those components?
Yeah, I mean, for first year as a superintendent, I wouldn't want to spend it anywhere else. I thought, I have a great board to work with, great admin team and great teachers supporting our students every day, and it's a great community to work in. So as a first year as a superintendent, I thought it went well. It was, some things were a learning curve, although I've been preparing for a superintendency role for several years and just, studying what Dr. Zimmerman, how his leadership style and how he approached things. And even before that, Mr. Landak at Oakland and Mr. Smith at Oakland, just watching those guys maneuver in this position prepared me. But it is different when you slide into the superintendent's chair. The buck stops with you now, and it's great. It's a very rewarding job, and I would say, as far as a first year, I wouldn't have wanted it to go any other way. We had, we're ongoing with a construction project that's going well. We're in the middle of a curriculum review that's going to be very, I guess, transformational for us, K through 5, when we're dialing in and reflecting on our English and reading curriculum. So we've had a lot of things going on, and it's just been a great year and a great way for me to start off at Monticello.
Mm-hmm. Do you mind if I ask, who has become a close ally of yours in the superintendent circles in Central Illinois? I know all of you communicate, I don't know if that's going to cause you to speak out of school at all, but who, anybody you come to mind that has been close for you to be, in contact with here in Central Illinois?
Well, I mean, Dr. Zimmerman's still a phone call away.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's a good friend of mine and still working in the area through the IASA as a field service rep. And so he serves as my mentor. So he's someone I reach out to, as well as Lance Landeck at Oakland. He'll be transitioning to St. Joe grade school next year, so he'll be even closer. But those two guys who I reached out to, but at the end of the day, all of us are in this together. So we'll throw questions out to each other on email and just touch base at different meetings in the Macon Piatt area, and everybody pulls for each other and pulls for each other in this position. It's if you just try to do everything by yourself and in a vacuum, it can be very, very lonely. But with the group of superintendents in this area, as well as those who I've known for years, they make it less lonely, and
Mm-hmm.
they make it a point to reach out when times are going well and when times are hard. So
what was the biggest thing you had to adjust to as the superintendent, whether it was, maybe a business side of running the school that you had never, kind of dived into, or anything else, I guess, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make this year that maybe wasn't on your radar in this time of transition?
Well, I don't know. So when you think about the superintendency at a school district like Monticello, there's just some things that you're doing for the first time when you step into a superintendency role. So all of the budget, the tax levy, all those things I've done before,
Mm-hmm.
but now that you're solely responsible, that's your job description now. So I think those were some of the things that leaning on others who've done it before and answering those questions. But those were the expected things. The things that you don't anticipate is when you are in the middle of doing some of the business side of things, it can be easy to lose sight of, why you got into education. And, we all got into education to be around kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to, as the superintendent, you have to make purposeful decisions in your day to connect with kids. And that has been my, reason for being in education for the last 16 years, is to connect with kids and support kids. So as a superintendent, you have to make purposeful decisions throughout your day to, get into the cafeteria, go out to recess, read in the classrooms, observe teachers and students interacting in the science lab, those types of things. You have to make a point to do it because it's not part of your day-to-day routine anymore. As a principal, that's part of your day-to-day routine. So that's been an adjustment, just making those purposeful decisions to see kids and support kids. But at the end of the day, at Monticello Schools, it's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
We have great kids, we have great teachers, and it's exciting to see both interacting and in action throughout the day.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Well, Mr. Clapp, I'll tell you what, any final thoughts on year one for you as superintendent, this past year, just in general, anything we didn't touch on you want to put out there for us?
No, you know what, I just can't stress enough. The one thing I didn't touch on is my unit office staff has been outstanding. Mrs. Keeter, Mrs. Boss, and Mrs. McGiles have they've been great. and I give them a hard time about, breaking in a new superintendent. Cause I always want to know, like, hey, how is this working for you? And being that taking that collaborative approach. And they've been great. And I couldn't have had a successful first year without those three.
That is Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, my guest on the phone. Plenty more to get to with Mr. Clapp coming your way on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now. The Chicago Board of Trade on this Monday. Jim Taylor on the RFD radio network. Corn and beans starting the day higher, and wheat futures lower. July corn 561.5 up 7. September corn up 3 1/4, 497 3/4. December new crop 502.5 up 2 3/4. July beans starting the day 1320.5 up 13 1/4. August beans up 11 3/4, 1259 3/4. November new crop 1185 3/4 up 10 1/4. July Chicago wheat $6 1/4 down 4 3/4. September wheat down 4 1/4, 612 3/4. December wheat 629 3/4 down 5 3/4. July bean meal 412.10, that's up $3. July bean oil 47.26 down a penny. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
This is Scott Baum at Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. We believe in putting customers first. That's how we started, and it's why we go the extra mile for our customers. Looking for a new or used vehicle? We have transparent pricing for new and used cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. See all our pricing and pictures online at your convenience. Or come in and visit our full-service team today at Clinton or Farmer City. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4Ls with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Mr. Adam Clapp is the superintendent of Monticello Schools, my guest on the phone in this segment. And Mr. Clapp, you talk about your first year as a superintendent, really kind of got the ball rolling on a big facilities update in Monticello. I know, of course, obviously the facility extension and renovation that the district took on that really kind of culminated once COVID was finished and kids were able to get into those buildings and use new infrastructure, new buildings and such. But also sports complexes took kind of a focal point this year as well. You got that started this year. Talk about that a little bit and maybe an update there.
Yeah. So like you said, we just coming off of COVID and coming off our big referendum project where we finished our high school edition with our new science labs and our elementary edition and then a complete renovation of the high school. We were all excited about that. And we had been in discussions, even going back to prior to COVID. Mr. Dan Sheehan and I, when I was the high school principal, presented to the board about the possibility of turf fields and what that would look like here at Monticello Schools. But then COVID hit, that took a backseat to everything else and just the day-to-day operations of the school. And then, we started this discussion up again last fall, and, it made sense at that time financially to move forward with it. It's been something that's been talked about for years and years and years. But it's really neat to be in a position where we can execute this plan and put into place turf fields that are going to be here and be an asset to the community for years to come.
Yeah. So football, from what I understand, that is down. Is it ready to use and all those things?
Yeah. So soccer, inside the
played
track,
on soccer for sure.
Yeah. Yep, been doing that since mid-April. Football got turned over to us basically around May 1st. And then softball started, the project started last Wednesday, the 17th. So it's going to move quickly. Softball field will be turned over to us probably at the beginning of July. So we'll have junior high softball being played out there next fall. And then we're hopeful that our baseball field will be finished early fall as well, and potentially play some junior high baseball on that field too. So It's exciting.
Absolutely. So very good. A lot of flexibility with those facilities as well. From what I understand, I was talking to Mr. Sheehan during one of my baseball broadcasts. He was talking about how the football field has some like markers for youth baseball on those. I think maybe T-ball was what he had mentioned. I could be wrong.
Yep.
And then when the interesting thing was when he showed it to Coach Welter, that you couldn't even tell that they were there. I mean, unless he said Mr. Sheehan had pointed it out to him, he never would have known.
Yeah, so there's some bases. We have a softball distance bases on one corner of the field and baseball distance bases on the other corner. And if you weren't looking for them, you would never see them. They're black, outlined, and painted. But yeah, it's super flexible. I mean, there isn't an evening that I've been by the school that I haven't seen, alumni, community members, even high schoolers, current middle schoolers out there doing something on our fields. And if you look at the usage level of our football game field last year compared to what it's going to be this year, last year we were on the field 17 times throughout the year. Our PE classes use it every day as it is right now. So that's an exciting upgrade just for PE, and even our elementary kids go out there, for activities as well. So, we've had an Easter egg hunt on the turf. We've had recess on the turf. We've had brain breaks when kids were in the middle of testing, needed a break. They get out there, run on the turf for a little bit, burn off some energy. It's just really neat to see how much these turf fields are getting used. And we're just they're brand new. We haven't even touched the surface on how much they're going to be used by our community.
Mr. Clapp, part of the fun of not having turf when I was in high school was the fact that if it was too wet outside, we weren't going to be able to go outside. And so I don't think there's going to be some kids that aren't really exactly thrilled about having to go outside sometimes, I think.
That might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but in all seriousness, it's a lot of fun to see the changes, and come the fall, we're going to be on some exciting facilities there in Monticello. It sounds like. Mr. Clapp, a couple of minutes yet here still with you this morning. Budget wise, I know you were telling me you presented an amended budget to your Board of Education your last Board of Education meeting. So how about the amended budget? How are things looking financially in Monticello?
Yeah, things are looking great. We had another good year in CPP revenue, and that's, basically I wanted to amend the budget to reflect the extra CPPRT revenue that I didn't anticipate when I presented the budget last summer. So we've been able to grow our fund balances again, even with our athletic facility project. We were still able to grow our fund balances. So that's exciting. And once again, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. Our budget goes as the CPPRT revenue in the Illinois state of the economy goes. So when things are going well, our budget reflects that. And that was another year. So we've had several good years in a row. That CPPRT revenue allows us to continue to keep a low tax rate for our local taxpayers. So we are very happy once again about that. So I presented the tentative amended budget last Wednesday. We'll present the amended budget at the budget hearing on June 21st. So things are looking good for the Monticello School District.
Very good. Well, Mr. Clapp, you enjoy your summer. It's always good to have you on the program and catch up on all things Monticello Schools. Where do folks go to keep up with all things Monticello Schools?
Yep, you can catch all of our happenings on stages.us, www.stages.us, or you can catch us on Twitter.
Very good, Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. My guest, Network News on the way.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM.